All right. Well, let's do a little bit of 7.2. We got 15 minutes. Let's do a little bit of 7.2. We got to get going on it and just start it. We thoroughly did 7.3. Now, like as I said, 7.3, 7.2, 7.1. These three sections. We'll just sum of 7.2 today, finish it tomorrow, and do 7.1, as well as 7.4 and 7.5. We have a lot. Anyway, same stuff, right? Look at that. Same kind of question. Two equations, two letters. Very, very similar. X plus y is 6. Y equals x minus 4, right? It's two equations, two letters again. Very, 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 very similar. You know, what's the deal? What are we supposed to do? Well, I'm going to say two things. They're wanting you to do it with a new method called the substitution method. I will show you that, and probably a lot of you already know it, and that's fine. You can do it, and it's great and everything. But really, on this one it's great, but on a lot of problems, substitution method is horrible. Fractions everywhere, super difficult, and that's why I started with 7.3, because the elimination method usually is the easiest way to do the problem in the majority of cases. I don't care what method you do. You can do anything you want on the homework and test. You know, Math Excel doesn't know what you did. It just wants the final answer, right? And I don't care what you did on the test. I'm fine with anything. So I showed you 7.3 because that's usually the best method. So let me show you elimination. Even though they say substitution, let me do it the old way, the way we just did first. Then I'll show you the new thing that you could also do if you wanted. First off, notice it's out of order, right? You need to have x's first, then y's, then numbers, don't you? This x needs to jump over here, doesn't he? He's in the wrong spot. It's supposed to be x's first, then y's, then numbers. The first equation is in that form. The first equation is good. He's got x, then y, then numbers. He's good. But the second equation is mixed up order, so jump that x to the left, and then the second equation will be in the right order also. What happens when the x jumps over there? Can you do that? What does it do? Becomes negative, exactly. Because the official formal way to do it is to subtract x from both sides of the wall. And then it's gone here, and it appears on the other side as a negative x, huh? But can we start saving some time from now on and be a little casual and just grab things and just jump them? It'll save a step for us. We can just jump it to the other side of the equal sign, like the old nursery rhyme when the cow jumps over the moon. It changes the sign, doesn't it? That's what it'll do. Whenever you grab a positive x and jump it to the other side, become negative x, or negative x, jump to the other side, become positive, the sign will change. So I'll just do that. So my two equations will become, what will they become? Let me bring it down here. So the first equation doesn't change. X plus y is 6. The second equation becomes negative x. That was a big y there. The second equation becomes negative x plus y is negative 4. Yeah, I'm scribbling this thing all up. There we go. Is that good? Does everybody see what happened? The first equation hasn't changed. The second equation, I just jumped the x to the other side, became a negative x. Now things are lined up. They're x's, then y's, then numbers. So we can just do the thing we learned in the first hour and a half. What do we do? How do we solve those two equations with two letters? That's what this chapter, by the way, that's what this chapter is all about, is how do you handle two equations at the same time? So what am I going to do? Can I add them right now? Absolutely, because these guys are already opposites, aren't they? I don't need to fiddle with them at all. This is already plus 1x and minus 1x. Huh? The y's are not opposites, but who cares? The x's are, and that's good enough. I just need either x or y to be opposites. X's are opposites. So we're ready to add right now. Right? Add them up. These cancel. What's that? I'm sorry? Yeah, that's the other way. Yeah, and that's real nice on this one, but really hard later. I'll show that, though, in just a minute. Yeah, so first off, I'm just doing it the way we did it the last hour and a half. Just add them up. X's cancel. This is 2y. It's 1y, and 1y is 2y. The x's drop out, but the y's add up, right? And this is what? 6 minus 4? 2? How do we finish solving for y there? Divide by 2. Y is 1. So we got y. How do we get x now? Go plug it in. Go plug it in. Come up here, like always. This is exactly the same. Plug in y is 1. Where do we plug it in? Anywhere you want. I usually just grab the first equation. So it's x plus y is 6. Plug in the y is 1. X plus 1 is 6. Subtract 1 from both sides. X is 5. So the answer is 5, 1, x, y. We good? So that's hardly new at all. That's why I spent so much time on this 7.3. So this would be easy. You just move the x over, make it negative x, and then just do the regular thing. Add them up, solve for y, plug it in, get x. It's all the same. There's our answer. 5, 1. You can tell 5, 1's right. If you put in 5 for x, 1 for y, 5 for x, 1 for y, it makes both equations true, doesn't it? Now, I'll show you the new method. Everybody good with that? That's the old method. That's what we did for the last hour and a half. The new method, let me redo it now. Hope you got all that down. Here's now the new method, which it's an option. You can do whatever you want. Here's what they're wanting you to do. They're saying, okay, here you got x plus y is 6, and you got y is x minus 4. They're saying, look at that second equation. Y is x minus 4, so just plug that in for y. Right? Because that second equation says y is x minus 4. Y equals x minus 4. So wherever you see y, you can replace it with x minus 4 because it is x minus 4, right? So they're saying take that first equation, x plus, and when you come to y, instead of y, put x minus 4. Everybody see what happened there? I put in x minus 4 in the place of y. Right? Just plug it in. This is another way. I don't care what way you do it. So 1x and 1x. No, this way works because, look, we don't have any more y now. That gets rid of y. 1x and 1x is 2x. Minus 4 is 6. Bring it up here. 2x minus 4 is 6. Add 4 to both sides. 2x is 10. Divide by 2. X is 5, just like we found out a minute ago. X is 5. And then you finish the same way. Plug in x is 5. Where do you plug it in? First equation, same old thing. X plus y is 6. Put in the 5. 5 plus y is 6. Subtract 5. Y is 1. So 5, 1. Same answer, other way. So those are the two ways. There's actually going to be a third one tomorrow, graphing. We can graph both lines and find out where they meet. That's the hardest way. That's tomorrow. So I showed you 7.3 because that way always works. I know substitution looks nice here. That looks pretty easy. It gets awful. They made that one super nice for substitution. Substitution gets terribly ugly when they don't make it nice. So I would encourage you to mainly do the 7.3, the elimination. I mean, it's fine. You can do both. If there's certain ones, basically, how do you know which ones are nice for substitution? When one of the letters is already alone. See how y was already alone? If they give you one of them already alone, yeah, that's just primed the pump for substitution. Just plug it into the other one. That'll work nice. But down the road, they won't do that. And I would just do elimination. Does that make sense? You okay with those two methods? Don't give me the poker face. I need a yes or no. All good? That's your fancy. They'll both work fine. So we got x plus y is 11. We've got y is x minus 1. So do whatever you want. You can plug one of them, because one of them, it is primed for the pump as far as plugging. Y is already alone, just boom, plug it in. Or you can just say, I'm going to take that x, and I'm going to jump it over here, become a negative x, and just do it that way, do the elimination. It'll work good either way. Give it a go. What's the answer? You can almost tell by looking. X, what does x have to be? What does y have to be? Can't you tell by looking? What two numbers add to be 11, and one of them, take away 1 is the other one? They're different by 1. What two numbers are different by 1 and add to be 11? 6 and 5. Right? Anyway, go on. You don't have to. You didn't like that guess method, huh? Anyway, just do the formula. It's got to be 6 and 5. 6 minus 5 is 6 plus 5 is 11. 6 minus 1 is 5, right? They're not always easy to guess at, but this one's a little bit easier. So do whichever way you like. So I'm just gonna do it the way we've been doing it. Right, I'm going to grab that x, jump it over here. What will happen when that x jumps over? Negative x, huh? So I'm going to rewrite the first equation, x plus y is 11. The second one becomes negative x plus y is 1. Oh, that's a negative 1, isn't it? It's hard to see that. So that's negative 1. Yeah, add them up. X is canceled. 2y is 10. Divided by 2. Y is 5. That good? You could have done the plug-in thing. Oh, and now we got to finish by the plug-in. We got to plug in to finish. Plug in y is 5. Where do we plug in? I'll grab the first equation. X plus y is 11. Plug in the 5. X plus 5 is 11. Subtract 5. X is 6. There we are, just like we knew. X is 5. Y is 6. Right? 6 plus 5 is 11. 6 minus 1 is 5. Good? I didn't do the substitution, but you could have. Maybe some of you plugged it in there. That's fine. Questions? Are we good? Anything I can answer? If you ask questions, probably other people have the same question. It's helpful. All right. Let's do that one. We'll try to do number 10. Okay, so x equals negative, that's a shaky looking 5 there. Negative 5y. X plus 2y is negative 6. Okay, try that one. You can do whatever you want. Plug them in, do substitution, or do the elimination. Am I confusing you by giving you two methods? That's how I first taught. When I was a brand new teacher, I thought, oh, I'll be so helpful. I'll show them 2 or 3 ways to do everything. They can do whatever the ones they like best, whichever's easiest for them, and I confused everybody. I learned nobody likes that, because then you see one thing, and then you're changing it, and then you're changing it again. So I learned it's better to show one method over and over and over and over again. All right, so I'm just going to continue with the same method that we learned in the first hour and a half, and that is, I'm going to jump this to the other. You've got to get x's and then y's and then numbers. You've got to get them lined up, right? X's first, then y's, then numbers, right? This one's out of order. So what happens when that negative 5y jumps over? Positive 5y, huh? X plus 5y. Now there's nothing left over here when he leaves. 0. Everybody good? And the bottom one, no change. X plus 2y minus 6. Is that good? I just jumped that minus 5y over to become plus 5y. Now things are lined up. X's, y's, numbers. Now, what do I got to do? Nobody's going to, if I add them right now, they're not going to eliminate. What do I have to do to make them eliminate? Either one, top or bottom. I usually just do the top, so I'll do the top. But yeah, the bottom would work fine as well. Because you got to make this negative x to be the opposite of positive x. Remember, you got to make 1 plus 1 minus, same number. So negative x minus 5y is 0. Anything times 0 is 0. The bottom equation, no change. Right, just bring it down, no change. Now add them up, x's eliminate, huh? Is that good? So I'm just doing the same thing we did for the first hour and a half. I just had to line them up first. So this is what? 2y minus 5y is minus 3y and minus 6. Last step to solve for y, divide by minus 3. Y is positive 2. 2 negatives, make positive 2. So we got y. Now I'm running out of room, so bring it over here. Plug in y is 2. Where do you plug in? I'll just grab the top equation. So the top equation right here, bring it down. X equals minus 5y. X equals minus 5. Plug in the 2. X is minus 10. There it is. X is minus 10. We got it. The answer is X, comma, Y. X first, then Y. Negative 10, comma, 2. There we are. Questions? So we can do this section the same way that we did the last section, really. You can just, once you get them lined up, you can just do the old method. Now, if you like the new method, feel free to do that, whichever you prefer. Now, we're not done. There's a whole bunch of word problems in this section that we don't have time to do right now. We are out of time. It is your favorite time. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I'm just Mr. Joke around here.